In the mid-20th century, a new threat to our planet silently emerged. Unseen by the naked eye, it was a danger of our own making: microplastic waste. As the world reveled in the conveniences of the plastic age, little did we know that we were sowing seeds of an environmental disaster. It wasn't until the 1960s and 70s that scientists first detected these minute particles in our environment. Yet, the depth of the problem remained largely unexplored. Fast forward to the dawn of the 21st century. A wave of scientific studies began to expose the alarming extent of the microplastic scourge. The world was waking up to a crisis that had been brewing beneath the surface. By the 2010s, the concern had escalated among scientists and environmentalists. It was no longer a distant threat but a present danger, an invisible enemy that was infiltrating every corner of our planet. As we entered the new millennium, it became clear that this microscopic menace was far more pervasive and harmful than anyone could have predicted. Scene script. Microplastics, tiny fragments of plastic smaller than 5 millimeters, are everywhere. They're in our oceans, our soil, and even in the air we breathe. Vast amounts of research have been conducted in recent years, revealing the alarming ubiquity of these miniature pollutants. These studies have shown that microplastics are not just confined to the environment, they've infiltrated the very building blocks of life, from the smallest planktons to the biggest whales and yes, even us humans. Microplastics can enter the food chain in a variety of ways. They can be ingested by marine animals, becoming a part of their tissue, which can then be consumed by larger predators, and eventually, by us. They can also be absorbed by plants through their roots, contaminating our fruits and vegetables. Moreover, they can be inhaled as airborne particles, making every breath a potential health risk. And the effects on our health are nothing short of concerning. While the full impact of microplastics on human health is still under study, preliminary findings suggest that they can carry toxic chemicals and harmful bacteria. These particles can potentially damage our organs, disrupt our hormonal balance, and even affect our reproductive system. But just how much microplastic do we ingest each year? Brace yourselves. According to a study published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology, the average person could be consuming anywhere between 20,000 to 50,000 particles of microplastic annually. That's almost 70 particles per day, and if you're a bottled water drinker, your intake could be twice as high. The figures are staggering and the implications deeply disturbing. We've created a monster that we cannot see, and yet it is everywhere, silently wreaking havoc on our health and our planet. We've allowed our convenience-driven lifestyle to turn our planet into a plastic soup, and now, we're eating the consequences. The invisible shreds of our plastic waste are now a part of our daily lives, silently wreaking havoc on our health and our planet. The threat of microplastic waste isn't just a future problem, it's a present crisis. Today, scientists and environmentalists are sounding the alarm, urging the global community to pay attention to this invisible menace. The need for immediate action is not just necessary, it's imperative. Our policymakers must prioritize the issue of microplastic pollution. It's time for them to implement regulations that encourage better waste management and discourage the production of single-use plastics. We can't continue to let our environment suffer for the sake of convenience. But it's not just the responsibility of our governments. We, as individuals, need to make changes in our daily lives. We need to rethink our relationship with plastic and shift towards more sustainable alternatives. This is our wake-up call. We've created a problem that we can't see, but we can't ignore. It's time for us to confront the invisible menace of microplastic waste.